Welcome everyone to otakusandgeeks.com reviews from the studios. Justin and Sean here, and today,
You.
and today we are going to be. It's all about. It's in the game. We're going to be talking about the new NFL Madden documentary. It's in the game Madden NFL, which is coming to Prime Video on November 22nd, 26th. As always, I give you a brief synopsis, so I'm going to read it to you before we discuss this brilliant documentary. So, without further ado, here we go. It's in the game Madden NFL reveals the never before told story of Madden NFL from its 8-bit origins to its success as an annual must-have against all odds. For the first time ever, EA Sports is opening the vault of rare never before seen footage while also allowing cameras to follow along as the team finishes the next gen Madden game. And overall, folks, this if you're a Madden fan, this is going to be a must-watch for you. And even if you're a game developer, I will say this is a much watch for you just because it's kind of inspirational for those who want to get into gaming, who wants to become developers, to just see how a small studio becomes this wide just conglomerate. Regardless of how you feel about EA today, just seeing the early beginnings of how Madden started, and I thought it was just a really good documentary, especially getting archive footage of John Madden and him being in there testing out the game, him telling you, especially in the first couple of episodes, we get to see the beginning. First episodes like the beginning of Madden, like how EA got the license, how EA convinced John Madden to do it, how John Madden was not satisfied with the original beta build, and originally they didn't have the hardware. John Madden did not care. He's like, you need to have all players on the field. Find a way, or there's no deal. And it just really showed how these young developers at the time really just strive to be something more. And me as a Madden fan, and I'll get into my Madden story, my first Madden game in a bit before once I pass it to Sean. But I thought that this did a really good job of pulling behind the curtain, of not just showing you the business politics behind EA, the business politics behind Madden, and they do address things that fans have always complained about, players complained about, such as the rating system. Players being upset that they're not higher or they're way lower than they're supposed to be. They also addressed the constant yearly annual releases. They touched on a lot of complaints and a lot of things that we as Madden players complain about. And the way, and then when they reveal the curtain behind the business practices, you go, you know what? It kind of makes sense. Don't agree with it, but I can see their perspective on it. I'm gonna pass it to Sean before I share my Madden story real quick.
Yeah, so one of the things that, because I'll be honest with you, I'm a semi-Madden fan or player because when Madden comes out, I'm not the one. I'll be the first to tell you, I am not the one that runs out to grab a new Madden when it comes out. I have friends that, like, if they're playing it, I have family that's playing it. They jump up and they're like, "Oh, the new Madden is coming out," and that's all they play. See, for some people, Madden is like Call of Duty for me. Like, I'll grab every Call of Duty, even though, there are huge complaints with that franchise. But I'll grab it every year. And I have friends that will grab Madden every year religiously. And I have played Madden. I have been in a few games. But I wanted to check out this documentary because I wanted to see what was the behind the scenes because, being not to reveal the age, I was around when the first Maddens, like I can tell you firsthand, watching the first Maddens come out. And I actually didn't play the first 1990s Madden because I was into football while I wasn't into the game. But I will say, like, for me, football came in the version of Tecmo Bowl. And anybody who's out there knows that, like, Tecmo Bowl it wasn't a great game, but it was like the closest we had to like playing in the NFL. And that was definitely like a side view up and down. When when Madden first came out, I got introduced to it by a friend, and I was like, "Wow, this is really different." Because first of all, the view was very different, and they talk about that in the documentary, how they changed the view. The gameplay was very different because one of the things I did like about the original that came out in the '90s was what's different from now till then, since the hardware wasn't as powerful, they actually had like at the top there were three screens to show you your receivers, your tight ends, and everybody else, just so you could see like a full view of who's open and who's not. And it was great for, like I said, this is way before like online play and everything else. Uh, a lot of things they talked about was the exactly how Madden felt about doing this game, because originally they just wanted these cheap sprites that was up there, and Madden was like, no, you got to have 11 on 11. There's no taking a back seat to anything. I will not put my name on anything that is less than perfect. And I'm saying it was perfect. He wouldn't. It had to be authentic. Perfect is the wrong word to use. It had to be authentic to the football game, and he was dead set on that. Else, his name was not going to go on it, because in his mind, his name was, is just as important as this game coming out. And I thought that was very interesting to see that this man took such a role in this game, because a lot of games they also address something like with Joe Montana football. I don't think Joe had that much input on the game. He was just like, okay, I license my name, we put it out, and that's it. And Madden was like, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it right, and we're gonna do it absolutely correct. And I was just like, yeah, I respected the hell out of that. I mean, each episode brings you closer into how the game was made. And I mean, one of the things I do like about it that the fans will love is that they go back and forth. They'll show you from the past, and then they do the digital dialing and dial it up to where it is right now. And I think this documentary was put out right before the release of 2024, or is 2024 coming out? I think
it's 2025 Madden Award.
So 20. Okay, so they're showing you the release of 2025, and I like that they're going back in time to show you how it evolved from where it was to where it is right now. I mean, it is for anybody who is a Madden fan, for anybody who's a video game fan, developer, and just hardcore online gamer and competitive gamer is gonna love this, because they really pulled the curtain back on this. Justin was absolutely right. They pulled the curtain back on this and let us see exactly how it went. And it was a little nostalgic for me to sit back and watch how video games evolved from the earlier consoles, from computer to the earlier consoles, how EA became how EA was. And they even talk about things like the commercials. The commercials were extremely catchy. Like, they would start talking about different things in football, and that's when they got you get the coin flip, you get the tackles, you get the QB love view, and it was like, it's EA Sports, it's in the game. And for any of us that are Gen Xers or millennials, that's what we knew. It was in the game, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So, Justin, you can tell your story.
Well, just to piggyback a little bit off of it, because he was talking about the Joe Montana football. And if those who grew up in the 90s like us, we know like Madden had competition. You had the Joe Montana football, and I remember even in the Segas, there was the Deion Sanders game, the Deion Sanders football game. I mean, I think they just called that NFL 95 though, but it was the Deion Sanders game. Then you had, as we got technology went a little bit more, you got NFL Quarterback Club, you had Game Day. So Madden had some stiff competition. And, of course, some might say the greatest football game ever made, which was the NFL 2K series. But for me, my first Madden game was Madden 94 for the Sega Genesis. I have so much memories with this. Me and my brother played that game to death, folks. It was Madden 94. And then from there, I'm more of a Madden player than Sean. Not as much as I used to be. I still collect them from time to time, but I don't buy every year now. I buy like every 2 or 3 years, I will get the next Madden game, because usually it's like, I feel like it's like every third year they get like a little bit more improvements that's warranted for me to buy the game. But I had 94, 95, 96, 97. My favorite Madden is Madden 05. That had to have the best franchise mode to me, with the Tony Bruno show. The gameplay is just Madden 05 for me. Just still to this day, I will still play Madden 05. Hell, now I'm thinking about it, I might even do a retro video on that, folks, down the line. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, this documentary, especially from aspiring developer standpoint, when you see how they put the game together, when you see how the motion capture, how they're capturing the players, and they really do reveal the curtain of the green screens, the motion capture animation, and even when it's back to the days of them hustling to even just get licenses, how they even show the story of how they managed to get the jerseys, the names, the licensing of players' names. Because remember, back in the days, it was just numbers, and it wasn't until you'll see in episode 2. I'm not going to reveal too much, but it wasn't until episode 2 when you watch it where they found a way to get the licensing, and developers were just really making sure that each year was more authentic, and each year it became more of that NFL presentation that we know and love. Until fast forward to this day, now we have a football game. If you compare it to how it began and compare it to now, it's just like, wow, it's just inspiring progression overall. Like I said, your feelings on EA, your feelings on the Madden product as a whole today might be different, but once you watch this documentary, you see the humble beginnings of where it was in the journey. I think whether you like Madden now or how the direction Madden's going, I think if you're watching its humble beginnings and the journey it took, you can't help but respect it. It's a 2 thumbs up for me, a must watch. We do when it comes to streaming, we do either watch it now, skip it, or add it to your queue. If you're a gamer, developer, or someone who likes to see a real underdog story, I'm going to give this a watch it.
Yeah, so some of the things I'll say I like it before I tell you my rating is that I did like how they brought on different developers. Madden didn't have the same developers from start. I mean, it had the same, EA had the same owner, president, everybody who was involved in it, but people came and went. But the core team that started with EA was stayed together, and you'll see that in episode 1 how those members like shaped Electronic Arts, because they're going to tell you in the beginning, and this is not spoiling anything, they were a computer software company. They had no interest, and they'll talk about it a little bit, about getting into the cartridge and console game. And I mean, there is a great section where they talk about how they got into consoles and cartridges, and I mean how they literally, and I mean, I don't want to say, this is a strong word to say, how, like, I don't want to say they strong armed or fleeced Sega, but
they did. I'll say it, they did.
Yeah, like they really like they put it to Sega, and I mean, it was just like, to me, that was the highlight of episode 1. And I'm watching a lot of how the game evolves, and like I said, I've watched a lot of what do you call it? Sorry guys, that's just my phone going off for some reason. Everybody is calling. A lot of everything that's going on, I was just like, wow, this is just an amazing documentary. And like I said, for somebody like me who's kind of into Madden, I'll play it. Like, if the fellas get together and we have a game night, I'll play Madden if it's in. But if you're asking me, am I hardcore like other Madden fans? Like, the game comes out, they've already got it downloaded, they're already setting up their teams, they're getting ready to play franchise mode, they're getting ready to, like, really like buckle down for a whole season. Or you got some people getting ready for tournaments, like they're such Madden heads for tournaments that, nah, that's not me. But I enjoy the game, and I think I'm probably going to enjoy the game and probably pick up 25 just because after watching this documentary. So yes, this is a must watch for any game developer, sports fan, Madden fan, definitely. Like I said, shout out to Prime. Like, yo, just pick it up and check it out. You won't be disappointed. So I'm going to turn it back over to Justin, because I think that's pretty much we don't want to give you everything with it, because there are many episodes, and, we're not the kind of people that will give you a play-by-play so you don't have to watch the episodes. No, go watch the episodes, go check it out. Come to some surprises and shocks and fun that we had watching it. So,
and that is going to wrap up this review of It's in the Game, Madden NFL. This is Justin and Sean from otakusandgeeks.com. If you like what we do here, hopefully we earn your subscription. Please hit the subscribe button and a like and share. That will also help out the channel and the algorithm. And a huge thank you for Prime Video for the screener. And of course, comment below. Let me know which Madden year is your favorite Madden game. Mine's is 05. And tell me why. We'll have a nice Madden discussion in the comment section there. And Later days, folks. We'll catch you on the next review. Peace.
Peace.